tonight. The Tony Tobin Trail Dazzlers that stand before you. If we can give them a big round of applause. And I understand that we are the pre-meeting entertainment tonight, as I have been informed. So there are some people other than just parents from our school here, along with our principal, Mr. McTasney, if you can give him a wave in the back. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind just kind of like in church, moving a little bit inward so we can make room for the people standing around the back and parents of my students. Local Temecula people who have actually come to attend the meeting, I understand, will be coming in during our encore, before we do our encore performance. And so they've asked me to have you all get up and move to the back so the people attending tonight's meeting may have a seat. And hopefully the mayor will come out and say something wonderful about our kids for coming here tonight. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to the kids, and our first song is a very popular song called Let It Go, and our soloist tonight is Katrina Santos.
The snow glows white on the mountains tonight, not a footprint to be seen. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen. The wind is howling like this swirling storm inside. Couldn't keep it in, heaven knows I tried. Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Well, now they know. Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, let it go. Turn away and slam the door. I don't care what they're going to say. Let the storm rage on. The cold never bothered me anyway. It's funny how some distance makes everything seem small. And the fears the ones control me can't get to me at all. It's time to see what I can do, test the limits and break through. No right, no wrong, no rules for me. I'm free. Let it go, let it go. I am one with the wind and sky. Let it go, let it go. You'll never see me cry. Here I stand, and here I'll stay. Let the storm rage on. My power flurries through the air into the ground. My soul is spiraling in frozen fractals all around. And one thought crystallizes like an icy blast. I'm never going back. The past is in the past. Let it go, and I'll rise like the break of dawn. Let it go, let it go. The perfect girl is gone. Here I stand in the light of day. never bothered me anyway.
All right, we're going to mix a little bit of new with some oldies but goldies. So here we go. And I might need him to back that up. Sorry. All right, next up we've got Rockin' Robin, and then we're going to let it go right on. And we've got our featured soloist is James Wright. We'll be doing Splish Splash.
Splish splash, I was taking a bath. Long about the Saturday night.
Yes, he was.
Rub-a-dub, just relaxing in the tub. Thinking everything was alright.
Yes, it was.
Well, I stepped out the tub, put my feet on the floor. I wrapped the towel around me and I opened the door. And well, splish splash, I forgot about the bath. I went and put my dancing shoes on.
Splishing and splashing, rolling and strolling, moving and grooving, reeling with the feeling, splishing and splashing, rolling and strolling on a Saturday night.
Bing, bang, I saw the whole gang. They were dancing on the laboring floor.
Yes, they were.
Flip flop, they were doing the bop, and they all had their dancing shoes on.
Yes, they did.
It was a lollipop with a Peggy Sue. Good golly, Miss Molly was even there too. And well, splish splash, I jumped back in the bath. How was I to know there was a party going on?
Splishing and splashing,
Splishing and a splashing,
rolling and strolling,
rolling and a strolling, moving and a grooving, reeling with the feeling,
splishing and splashing.
rolling and a strolling.
Saw Miss Molly rockin', she was dancing on the ceiling. Party, party on, but we're never gonna stop.
Splish splash, I was taking a bath.
Our next song became quite popular from a movie called Pitch Perfect. And we are featuring Alyssa Wien singing the solo of this song while the rest of us will be doing the body percussion because our cups wouldn't work on carpeting.
I got my ticket for the long way round. I got my memories for the way. And I sure would like some sweet company. And I'm leaving tomorrow, what do you say? When I'm gone, when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my hair. You're gonna miss me everywhere. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. When I'm gone, when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk. You're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. I got my ticket for the long way round. The one with the prettiest of views. It's got mountains, it's got rivers, it's got sights to give you shivers. For sure would be prettier with you. When I'm gone, when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk. You're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. When I'm gone, when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my hair. You're gonna miss me everywhere. Oh, you sure gonna miss me when I'm gone. When I'm gone, when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk. You're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone.
And I see that the mayor has just arrived, so I'm thinking we need to do an encore song just for the mayor, Mrs. Edwards. So we dedicate this to our wonderful Temecula City Council. Enjoy.
I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath, scared to rock the boat and make a mess. So I said quietly, agreed politely. I guess that I forgot I had a choice. That you pushed me past the breaking point. I stood for nothing, so I fell for everything. You held me down, but I got up
On behalf of myself and the students and faculty from Tony Tobin Elementary School, we thank you very much for inviting us here for this very special invitation. And we have certainly enjoyed ourselves. I'm going to let the kids take one more last bow. Boys and girls, hands up and down. Very good.
My singing buddies at Tony Tobin Elementary. Good job, you guys. You got to get out of here now because we got to start the meeting, though.
That's what we hear.
So come on, I'll give you high fives as you go by. Everybody going up the center aisle. Let's go.
All right, guys,
Let's go.
we're gonna just
Let's
start
go.
walking up
So
this
when are we
way.
going to do the national anthem again? When are we going to sing together again? Huh? Are we ready? Call me. Call me. You got on summer break, and then we'll sing next year. You guys did a great job. Have a good summer. Oh, thanks for coming. All right, you're going out the doors. It's going to be really empty in here. All right. Yeah, they're all on TV. Have a good summer, you guys. Hi. Good job. Good job, moms and dads. And hug, 'cause we're actually live on TV, so we got to start the meeting. Going. All right, that's almost everybody. My goodness. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to work my way back. All right. So now all the people that couldn't get a seat are going to come in because we had a full house. Come on in. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order and get underway. So I'm going to call this meeting of the Temecula City Council to order. And as you saw, we had our prelude music by Tony Tobin Elementary School. And is Pastor Philip Haas in here? Did you get in and get a seat, Pastor? Okay, good. So you're going to be doing our invocation. Mayor Pro Tem Jeff Comachero is out of town on business, hoping he could make it back in time. He has not. So I am going to pass the torch to my right to Mr. Nagar. If you would be so good as to present the flag salute. So Pastor Phillips, if you would come up and present the invocation for us, and we'll all stand for that, followed by Councilmember Nagar with the flag salute. Yes, come right up. Good evening.
Good evening. Let's bow. Lord Jesus, we thank you for this great and wonderful privilege that we have to live where we live. We're truly blessed, and some of us take it for granted. But you've given us this great privilege to live in this wonderful city, and I pray that you'll give wisdom to those that are making decisions for our future, because the decisions that they make here in this chamber affects all of us and affects our lives, our families, and our future. So I pray that you give them wisdom to make the choices and decisions and the projections that they make. They need wisdom that comes from you, because you're truly the only one that knows the future for sure. We can simply project, but you're the one that knows. So give us the wisdom to know what is out ahead of us so that we can make those right choices. I also pray that you help us during this meeting to be constantly reminded, not only as the council members, but also as citizens that we can disagree and still respect one another, because ultimately it's not just about me, it's about us. We're a community, and we must work together. This I ask and pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. If you remain standing and face the flag with me and say with me, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. If we could go ahead and have the roll call for the record, please.
Councilmember Comachero is absent. Councilmember Nagar.
Is here.
Councilmember Roberts.
Here.
Councilmember Washington.
I'm here.
And Mayor Edwards.
I am here. And I want to let you know that if you needed to fill out a request to speak form and you weren't able to get in and file it, you can go ahead and place it up here with the city clerk. We're going to leave them up front. I just wanted to remind you. So we're going to go ahead now with presentations and proclamations. And we have the Cal Ed Award of Merit presented to the city, which is a great honor. So who's going to take care of that, Mr. City Manager?
I'm going to have Cheryl Kitzrow, one of our economic
Cheryl?
development analysts, sort of set this up for the award tonight.
Thank you.
You.
Good evening, Mayor Edwards, members of the council. I'm excited that we have Cal ED here with us tonight to present this award for local innovation in economic development for our Temecula Valley Entrepreneurs Exchange, our business incubator and resource center, that thanks to the leadership and innovative thinking of our council and especially our subcommittee for the incubator, Mayor Pro Tem Comachero and Councilmember Washington, we're able to celebrate tonight. So I'd like to introduce Cal Ed board member Mike Newby. He's also the manager of economic development at Southern California Edison, and he has the award to present.
Well, good evening. Nice to see you again. Our lights are on. The electricity's working. It was cool today.
I'm
The
very
meter's
impressed.
running, yes.
Very impressed with your council chambers. In my former life, I worked for cities and counties, so this is very nice.
Thank you.
Well, Cheryl kind of set the stage in terms of what the award is and the project. So on behalf of the Board of Directors for Cal Ed and the staff, it is my great pleasure to present to the City of Temecula the Award of Merit.
Mr. Washington, would you like to go down and receive it?
The honor.
And while you're doing that, maybe you could give a cliff notes of talk about the incubator just a little bit.
Thank you. You want me to describe, or you'd like Cheryl to describe?
Up to you.
Well, everybody knows our incubator is over in our old city hall, and we have what now, 10
we have new ones.
startups doing very well. It was funded by a grant, obviously, and so the city has used that money, that grant money, to good use. Cheryl is the manager for the business incubator, and then on the second floor, we're halfway into the tenant improvements to bring Mount San Jacinto Community College and Cal State San Marcos. So it's going to be a nice mix of education, research, a lot of incubating. Innovative, the mayor said.
Yes, innovative.
She
is
likes
what,
innovative. So on behalf of myself and Mayor Pro Tem Comachero as the subcommittee and the entire city council, thank you for the recognition.
Thank you very much. We could almost say that that's like an education center on the second floor, would you not say? I think it is. Thank you
Very impressed with the education part of that. Good job.
Yeah, thank you. So you'll be able to start with Mount San Jacinto and get your AA degree, and you go right into Cal State San Marcos, and you graduate with a 4-year degree right in the same building. So it's unique. Thank you, sir. All right, so we're going to move on to public comments. A total of 30 minutes is provided so members of the public may address the city council on items that appear within the consent calendar or a matter not listed on the agenda. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. If the speaker chooses to address the city council on an item listed on the consent calendar or a matter not listed on the agenda, a request to speak form must be filled out and filed with the city clerk prior to the city council addressing the public comments and the consent calendar. Once the speaker is called to speak, please come forward and state your name for the record. For all public hearing or council business items on the agenda, a request to speak form must be filed with the city clerk prior to the city council addressing that item. Each speaker is limited to 5 minutes. All right, do we have any speakers?
We have 3 under public comments and 2 under consent.
All right, so could we have the first speaker under public comments, please?
First speaker, Todd Wiggins with Dr. Teo Beam and Sharon Mattis.
Good evening. You're really jingling there.
It's my medals. Mayor and city council members and also invited and distinguished guests. I am Todd Wiggins along with Teo Beam and Sharon Mattis, and we represent the Spirit Run for the Arts, an annual 5K, 10K run walk event held in March of each year in Temecula and hosted by the Spirit of Great Oak Band and Guard and the Great Oak High School. Our mission, to raise support for the visual and performing arts in the Temecula Valley and surrounding communities. Most importantly, to contribute to the overall success of our young people and our schools, as they are a vital artery to the health and well-being of our community. I have a little side note on, we added a 1K to our event the next year, and on my daughter, this came about because my daughter, who runs with me every morning on Saturday, said to me one morning after we got done running, she said, "Dad, do people your age really run? Should they be running?" And so I have to tell you, since doing the 1K, it's a heck of a lot less stressful, and the runners are a lot shorter, so I'd say your line of sight is a lot better. So. Since its inauguration in March 2011, Spirit Run for the Arts has generated over $74,000 in support of the arts. This includes approximately $7,000, which has been donated to the Temecula Valley Foundation for Excellence in Education. Not to mention, the Spirit Run has collected over 800 pounds of non-perishable food for the Temecula Food Pantry. In addition, this year we offered any 501(c) organization wishing to raise money for their group a 40% return on their registration fees in their name once they secured 20 or more runners or walkers. By doing so, it takes fundraising to new heights. By learning to work together and to show our local businesses, most who are approached routinely for donations, that donating to one large community event benefits the multitude of organizations is the way to go and shows our businesses in our community that we care. This year's event was the best ever in regards to awareness and overall community support. This included assistance from many of the local businesses and organizations, some of which are in this room, the City of Temecula, the support of the City Council, and of course, last but not least, the man of 3 minutes, the time I have to speak, Mr. Chuck Washington, City Council member. His support and presence this year was much appreciated. We therefore would like to present Chuck Washington with this little memento on behalf of the Spirit Run for the Arts.
Little.
Chuck, can you come on down?
Oh, it's going to be a Chuck Washington night, I can tell already.
As Chuck makes his way down, I also have to mention that Marianne Edwards, Mayor Marianne Edwards, was also our first invited dignitary, I guess, with our run, our very first year, and actually sang the national anthem along with Tony Tobin's choir. So thank you, Marianne Edwards.
It poured rain that year, remember? First year? Just poured.
He talked about how the 1K is a lot easier. Standing up on the starting podium was really easy.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm honored. Yeah. I hope I get to come back again next year.
5th year?
Okay.
Got it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, you guys. It's a wonderful event. Next speaker, please.
Doug Cook, to be followed by Wayne Hall.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Honorable Mayor and the entire City Council and staff and the Temecula citizenry that's in attendance tonight. I'm here to introduce this fine fellow. This is Michael Fairbanks, and he is the first ambassador for Community Crossings, which is an adult daycare program that is designed for people with disabilities, but that also have medical fragile problems or fragility. Michael is very ambitious. He's in your Global Citizenry program, and he's going to become a global citizen in a few weeks. And he's applying to be an intern with the city. And he told me not to tell you this tonight because he didn't want any of you to be scared.
We won't tell anybody.
Okay. He's going to be a city councilman for Temecula within the next 5 years. So
Great.
Okay. All right, Michael. Time we come, Michael promises to speak for
All right.
himself. Okay.
We look forward to that. Thank you. We'll look for him as an intern, too.
And Wayne Hall.
Hi, Wayne. How are you? I ran into you all over the place yesterday.
It was a fun day. It was really fun. I'm speaking on something else today, or for this segment. We're coming up to Looney Day, I like to call it, but what it actually is, it's voting day. It's the June 3rd. This is a day where all Americans can vote. They have a voice. If you meet the requirements, you're a registered voter, and you can vote. That is your voice. And what I want to bring up is if you're happy with California or even in Washington, D.C., well, things will probably stay the same. But if you want to see a difference, the only way that can happen, they're not going to change. We, as the voters, must vote our conscience, either to vote to keep them there or to remove them. But it's our vote, our voice. And I ask the citizens of Temecula, please, please, vote, speak, and make your vote count. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wayne. No further speakers?
No further speakers.
All right. On to City Council reports. Gentlemen, anything? It's not showing
Madam
up.
Mayor, I know, I didn't push the button.
Okay, go ahead.
Briefly, I accompanied Cheryl Kitzrow and Christine Damko and our city manager, Aaron Adams, to the International Conference of Shopping Centers over in Las Vegas. It was very productive. We talked about a number of projects that might be well suited for vacant land, as well as additions to existing properties. While we were over there, we met some interesting folks, and I think it was a worthwhile effort. I accompanied our staff, a little bit under the weather, but it was nice to see Cheryl's here today, and Aaron is here, who's spent a lot of time in close proximity to me, and nobody else got sick. So.
You were under the weather, or they were under the weather? You
Well,
were.
I was, and I'm glad to see they're not.
Okay.
Yes, after being around with me. So it was a very productive trip.
Did you wear pedometers, and how far did you go?
In 2.5 days, we walked, I think it was 12 and a half, 13 miles. Yeah. I think the ladies, who are both fitness buffs, wanted to show me and the city manager up. So they scheduled every meeting alternating between one hall and the next, rather than all of them in one hall. So we would have a 15 or 20-minute meeting, and we'd have 5 minutes to make it to the next meeting, which was all the way on the opposite end of the convention center. So
And did you take frequent water breaks?
not enough, I have to confess.
Enough.
Yeah, but thanks to staff and our city manager, did an excellent job representing the city.
Oh, thank you. And how many meetings? You logged a lot of meetings.
We did. I think we had 15 meetings in half of Sunday, all day Monday, all day Tuesday. Yeah. So.
It wasn't a vacation.
Not hardly.
No, we know that.
No. I would get back to the hotel and collapse.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Let's hope that some of those very high-profile businesses that you visited will be interested in moving.
Well, we had...
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Aaron and I got in the elevator to go downstairs to check out, came back up. As we went back down with our luggage, there was a gentleman in the elevator. There's three of us, myself, Aaron, and this gentleman. And he saw our name tags, and he said, "Oh, you guys are from Temecula." Now, there's tens of thousands of
Yes.
people there, right? And we go, "Yeah?" He says, "Well, I just made an offer on one of your shopping centers,
Oh, excellent.
and I'm hoping I get it." He was very excited. So we'll see. We'll see the news when that decision's rendered.
Wow.
So it was kind of a highlight of the day for us.
That's really exciting. Okay. So it sounds like you had a good trip. Anyone else? Nope. I know that Wayne has talked about voting, and I know that we have, again this year, early voting available at the mall. And I'm sorry to say that I've just learned about it, and I don't have any details, but we can probably put something up on the website about it. And it's usually when the mall hours are open, certain times and certain days of the week, obviously. So we'll find out when early voting is, but I always like to take advantage of that. You can actually vote early, and that's why they call it early voting at the mall. So early voting at the promenade. Did it? Has been there for a while? I just heard about it.
No, they send the ballots if you register
Mm-hmm.
to your house. You don't even have to go outside.
I know, but there's just something about walking into that voting booth and voting. I just like that part. I don't like to vote absentee. I like to go into the voting booth and vote. And then I wanted to say that I hope you enjoyed your Memorial Day weekend. The city held a ceremony yesterday, and it was the first time that we were able to do this. Councilmember Washington actually helped to organize it with Community Services Department, and they had a parade of sorts, not really a parade, but it was a solemn walk on Main Street in Old Town across the new old Main Street Bridge, and they made their way up to City Hall with the Young Marines, and then they had a Marine Corps vehicle of sorts, and we had some singers that performed, and it was really a very, very nice ceremony. Very solemn, but yet very joyous at the same time. So I hope that you were able to spend a few minutes and give thanks for all those who had gone before and given their lives for freedom, because certainly freedom is not free. And then there were a couple of other ceremonies in town. Boy Scouts, and I think it's through Troop 318, always do a really lovely job. They go to the Veterans Memorial at the Duck Pond, and they have some music. They play their own instruments, and they give speeches, and it was just really touching. Their families were there, and there were probably about 50 or 60 parents and family members, and it wasn't really well publicized, but they did such an awesome job. They do all the organizing themselves. So we're going to make sure that they get a little bit more publicity next year, because I think it's really touching to see a ceremony that is totally organized by our youth. And they felt it was so important. And they actually, while they were there, they offered to adopt our Veterans Memorial and to take care of it from now on, cleaning it, polishing any of the brass fixtures, taking care of the stones, the brick pavers, keeping it clean, taking care of the plants in the planter bed. So we're going to get in touch with them and take them up on their offer. So I thought that was really nice. But there were several really touching ceremonies in town yesterday, so I hope that you all had a chance to be with family and friends and to take advantage of some of those wonderful ceremonies. All right, so I'm going to move on to consent calendar. All matters listed under consent calendar are considered to be routine, and all will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no discussion of these items unless members of the City Council request specific items be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Number 1, standard ordinance and resolution adoption procedure. Number 2, action minutes. Number 3, list of demands. Number 4, financial statements for the third quarter ended March 31st. Number 5, First Amendment to the agreement with Proactive Fire Design, Inc. for Fire Department Plan Review Service. Number 6, purchase of 50 HP desktop computers. Horsepower was the original computer. That's a little bit different. Purchase of 50 HP desktop computers, 5-year life cycle replacement. Number 7, professional services agreement with Hall & Foreman, Inc. for library parking, Phase 2, PW 13-09. Number 8, agreement with All American Asphalt for fiscal year 2014-15. Number 9, agreement with Main Street Signs for fiscal year 2014-15. Number 10, temporary street closures for 2014 Summerfest events. Number 11, Murrieta Creek Regional Trail Project at the request of Trails Ad Hoc Subcommittee members Nagar and Washington. And just for safety's sake, I'll be abstaining on that one, Mr. City Attorney, because my employer has a clubhouse that sits right on Murrieta Creek. That would be the Boys and Girls Club. So since I'm within 500 feet of the creek, actually I'm within more like 80 feet of the creek, I'll be abstaining on number 11. Number 12, second reading of ordinance number 14-03. And I will accept a motion and a second.
Madam Mayor, I
Sure.
just have a quick comment on item number 11.
All right.
And maybe an inquiry as well.
Okay, and we have 2 speakers on that item.
Oh, we do, okay. Okay, on 11, all right. So we're gonna pull 11. Okay, so does anybody want to
move the balance.
move the balance? Motion and second to move the balance, and if you will go ahead and press your buttons. Motion and second. And now we can vote on everything but number 11. And we're going to go ahead and pull number 11, and do we want to get a quick staff report?
Madam Mayor,
Sir?
since that item has been pulled, you'll need to leave the room.
Okay. And since Mayor Pro Tem Comachero is not here,
So, do we have a fishbowl we can pull names out?
yeah, we've
I
been
think
there.
the next mayor after that is you, Mr. Washington, so,
He hasn't decided.
Well, I can go ahead and leave while you guys fight it out. How's
Okay,
that?
all right. We'll let the mayor leave, and I'll run this one item.
So we actually have a presentation for you. I'd like to introduce Matt Peters.
Okay,
and-
let's wait until...
Until she leaves. Okay, so we have a brief
Okay.
presentation.
Thank you, Armando.
Matt, will you please review this for the council?
Sure. Good evening. The new mayor, the interim mayor, and council members. This is the Murrieta Creek Regional Trail Plan, and this was a joint effort between the cities of Temecula, Murrieta, Lake Elsinore, and Wildemar in working with the Sierra Club and the National Park Service. I'd like to introduce a few people in the audience. Terry Bencardi and Pam Nelson from the Sierra Club. Claudia Davis from Lake Elsinore, Colby DeGuide from the city of Murrieta, and Dan York from the city of Wildemar.
Yay.
So we've worked on this the last year and a half, and we've been attending each other's city council meetings in support. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Patrick Johnston from the National Park Service to present the Murrieta Creek Trail Plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Council members, newly appointed mayor. My name is Patrick Johnston. I'm with the National Park Service. I work for a small program in the Park Service called the Rivers, Trails, and Conservation Assistance Program. We provide technical support on local community-based projects such as this one. Just for the benefit, our program operates a little bit like a grant in that it is a competitive process and there's a formal application and review for the projects we support. However, unlike a grant, if you are awarded support from us, you don't get money, you get me or somebody like me. What we do is we provide staff support on projects like this, and it's been my pleasure and honor to have been a part of this effort, like Matt said, for the last year and a half, close to 2 years now. I also want to just have a special acknowledgement of the Sierra Club. They were the local community organization that got together and applied for technical assistance and are the reason why we've been able to work together on this effort. So just want to acknowledge that. In addition to our core project team, anything like this is going to require a lot of vested stakeholders and partners, key partners that What you see here are some of the ones that have been engaged thus far and will continue to need to be engaged moving forward, particularly Riverside County Flood, Riverside County Parks and Open Space District, and for Temecula, definitely the Army Corps of Engineers. The concept for the Murrieta Creek Trail is by no means a new one. This is something that appears in planning documents across the region for literally decades, whether you're talking about master trail plans, general plans, vision plans, concept plans, you name it. So we didn't get together to reinvent the wheel. We were hoping to nudge the wheel down the path a little bit. And what I mean by that is looking at current situations, current opportunities, and figure out a path for moving forward towards implementation. And with that goal, we set up these broad objectives. We wanted to make sure to establish a unified trail user experience. This is a trail that would cross a number of jurisdictions, agency boundaries. But for the trail user, it should be a seamless experience in connecting from one agency to the next, from one agency's boundary to the next. There should be no difference for somebody using the trail. We also wanted to look at opportunities to identify regional trail connections, improve agency coordination, which I think some of the folks who are here today can testify to the fact that it's been a very collaborative process. It's been a very dedicated process by particularly by the city representatives and the Sierra Club groups and other community groups. And last, we wanted to make sure that we were enhancing community resources, not just recreational resources, but natural resources and economic resources as well. One of the benefits of focusing on the Murrieta Creek corridor is that it actually does provide you a physical link between the major cities across the valley, one in which you can then connect into several other regional trail opportunities. And so what you begin to see is that by focusing on the Murrieta Creek corridor, you're not just developing a single trail, you're developing a network of regional trails. And I'll point out, stemming off of the Temecula area to the right there, as well as from the Lake Elsinore and Wildemar area, is the Butterfield Trail. The Butterfield Trail is currently being studied by the National Park Service for potential inclusion in the National Historic Trail System. So what you're seeing here is an opportunity not just to identify and develop a trail that has local and regional significance, but one that has national significance as well. Our process was extremely straightforward. We went out and we inventoried existing conditions. We looked at opportunities. We looked at constraints. We looked at gaps, all with an eye towards developing an actionable implementation plan. And that's what we put together in the document that we have here today. And one of the things I'll say about that is that we weren't looking at just identifying the long-range action items, the ones that are going to take perhaps a while for development to come through, or for the Army Corps to finalize their plans, or for grant funding to come along. But really, what are the short-term actions and partnerships that can be developed to begin opening the resource, begin letting the community enjoy what will become a wonderful amenity, not just for Temecula, but for all the cities in the valley here. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Matt, who's going to take you through the photo inventory and the recommendations. Thank you.
Luckily, a lot of the trail has been completed in the city of Temecula. The photographic inventory shows portions of the trail along the Murrieta Creek. This is just south of Rotary Park, and then that's picture number 1. Number 4 shows the trail along Diaz, along the Murrieta Creek between Rancho California Road and Winchester Road. So much of it's been completed. Patrick mentioned that the long-term plan will be implemented by the flood control, Riverside County Flood Control and the Army Corps project. But this plan does include recommendations for an interim unimproved trail connection. So we'd be looking at getting people from Rotary Park north to the crossing at Rancho California Road to get on the Diaz Trail up to Winchester, and then north to the boundary with the city of Murrieta. So we'll be working with flood control and the other jurisdictions to get that open soon. With that, the recommendations for the council to pass a resolution acknowledging the planning effort and the support of continued cooperation and coordination amongst the different cities and the jurisdictions, and then approving the project document. So that concludes the presentation, and we're available for questions.
Mr.
Thanks.
Nagar, Mr. Roberts, do either of you have questions?
No questions.
No?
No.
Okay, we have two speakers.
Two
Can you call the
speakers.
first speaker, please?
Terry Biancardi, to be followed by Pam Nelson.
Hello, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. My name is Terry Biancardi. I'm vice chair of the Sierra Club. I live in Temecula, and I've been with this project since the beginning, although it's the brainchild of my colleague Pam Nelson here. I'd like to start off by saying that this has been an extraordinary privilege to work with such dedicated and far-sighted public servants. When we first came to the members of this team with this idea, they signed on straight away and have been absolutely focused on advancing its development. They volunteered to work through their lunch hours and sacrifice their evenings to push this project forward. We are indeed fortunate to have such professionals of such caliber working on our behalf. So at this last stop in our 4-city roadshow, I'd like to take this moment to publicly say thank you, Patrick Johnston. Thank you, Matt Peters. Thank you, Colby DeGuide. Thank you, Dan York and Claudia Davis. As to the Murrieta Creek Trail, the merits of this project speak for themselves. Everyone wants this trail, and it's the sort of project that coincides with what all of our cities are trying to achieve, encouraging healthier lifestyles, building connections within and between our communities, and promoting the kind of economic development that regional trail systems are so good at producing. There are all kinds of exciting synergies flowing from this project. Thank you for your consideration of this resolution.
Thank you, Terry. Next speaker, please.
Pam Nelson.
Good evening. Currently, I'm chair of the local Sierra Club group, the Santa Margarita group of the San Gorgonio chapter. But a year and a half ago, I was just a volunteer, and as you know, volunteers get appointed to things. So I was appointed to the Trails Committee, and I decided to focus on something that would be useful to the local community. So I was considering the applying for the National Park Service grant to focus on the long-term proposed Murrieta Creek Trail. So my coworker and I, Terry Biancardi, scheduled a meeting with your planner, Matt Peters. His enthusiasm and light goals to make a trail that would provide easy access for local residents to experience the out-of-doors and an historic route that connects 4 cities prompted me to submit the application. With the amazing facilitation of the NPS staff person, Patrick Johnston, you can see how much has been accomplished in just this year and a half. Of course, it took some help from the city planners, I would say. So thank you, Temecula, for giving our Sierra Club the encouragement to move ahead on this project. Thank you very much again.
Thank you, Pam.
Move the item, Mr. Washington.
Would you like to elaborate, Mr. Nagar, talk about the subcommittee meeting since you and I made the recommendation?
Sure, I don't mind doing that. Of course, the council and our subcommittee has made trails and open space a real priority. And let me tell you, when it comes to open space, we're pretty battle scarred, as most of you might imagine, particularly having fought the Liberty Quarry project for over 7 years. But we've made a commitment here in Temecula to trails and open space, and I don't think we're going to waver from it. I think it's a tremendous, tremendous asset to be able to get on your bicycle and start in Temecula and ride all the way down to Lake Elsinore, where there's a lot of recreation opportunities between here and there. And of course, vice versa, for them to ride down this area and start to see Old Town and things of that nature. No, I think that's pretty much about it. It reminds me of, I just caught my thought back, it reminds me of beautiful Santa Ana River Trail, whose idea was to go from the foothills of the San Bernardinos all the way to the ocean. So, they're getting close to completing that trail. There's just a few segments that aren't there. I just think it's magnificent, and we got to keep our commitment to it.
Thank you, Mr. Nagar. I serve on the Trails and Bikeways Subcommittee with Mr. Nagar, and I serve on the Heritage Tree Subcommittee with Mr. Roberts, and their commitment and passion to both is unmatched. So I think this is a great place to start, and hopefully we'll see great things in the coming years. So we have a motion.
I move, make a motion.
He already did that.
Oh, then I'll second it.
All right. We have a motion by Mr. Garr, second by Mr. Roberts. How about a voice vote? You want to just do that?
Sure.
Gwen? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries 3-0, and we can bring the mayor back in. Easy come, easy go. That was the shortest term of mayor anyone's ever had. 10 minutes. And I already ordered new business cards.
All right. They have the coolest horsepower computers back there in that room. Okay, so we are done with consent. So we're going to recess City Council meeting to Temecula Community Services, Successor Agency, Redevelopment Agency, and the Temecula Housing Authority and Public Financing Authority. And since
Is it?
Mayor Pro Tem Comachero isn't here, I am the next in command.
What?
I am.
I can't believe you're taking two jobs.
I am. I'm multitasking because I've got horsepower tonight, so I'm going to go on to the Temecula Community Services District meeting. So we're going to call this meeting to order. Let the record reflect that we are all here except for President Comachero. Do we have any public comments?
Yes, we have one public comment by Nels Jensen.
All right. Then we'll go ahead and say a total of 30 minutes is provided so members of the public may address the Board of Directors on items that appear within the consent calendar or a matter not listed on the agenda. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. If the speaker chooses to address the Board of Directors on an item listed on the consent calendar or a matter not listed on the agenda, a request to speak form must be filled out and filed with the City Clerk prior to the Board of Directors addressing public comments and the consent calendar. Once the speaker is called to speak, please come forward and state your name for the record. For all public hearing or district business items on the agenda, a request to speak form must be filed with the City Clerk prior to the Board of Directors addressing that item. Each speaker is limited to 5 minutes. So, welcome.
Thank you. My name is Nels Jensen. I have a question about the French Valley Airport. Are there any FAA regulations or City of Temecula ordinances concerning the minimum altitude that a plane can fly over a residential area? We're getting buzzed starting at 6 a.m. in the morning, and some of these planes are flying pretty low, and it's quite annoying. So is there anything that the city can do or any other government agency can do to help us out?
Mr. Thorson, how much leeway do we have here? Because we know it's a short answer.
Yeah, Madam Mayor and members of the council, basically, the FAA controls what the planes do at that location. And I believe that the airport itself is outside of the city, so there's not a whole lot that the city can do. The FAA does have a local office. I'm not sure if it's in Los Angeles or San Diego, but they do have regulations as to the height of planes coming into the airport. And it's, if you'll look at other airports, that issue is a tough one to deal with for any locality.
Mr. Washington.
Peter, I don't know how much leeway I have here, but I do have some experience with flying.
You can provide a brief response to his
Okay.
comment, but the council can't discuss.
It's not an agendized item.
I have the
And,
gavel.
she has the gavel now again. See?
So we're not allowed to respond if it's not on the agenda, but you're.
So, as a 15,000-hour pilot, I can share with you, well, the city attorney has already shared that the airport is outside the city limits. But traditionally, cities don't exercise any control over the movement of airplanes in and around an airport. That one's a particularly challenging airport because it is without a control tower. It is uncontrolled. In the past, we have looked at partnering with the county, seeing if we could get the FAA to come in and put a tower in, which would provide some regulation over flight. But even in uncontrolled airports, there are limitations, FARs, Federal Aviation Regulations, that apply. Your best course of action would be to see if you can get an N number, that's that large number on the tail of the aircraft, starts with an N because it's a U.S. registration, and report that to the FAA. They can track who the owner is. If it's the owner that's flying it, they can pursue action against the owner. If it's a rental aircraft, they will go to where that person rented it from and find out who rented it and pursue action against that pilot.
Thank you.
Sure.
And we get that question a lot. We do.
Can I say one thing? I've got my thing on. A little bit of history. About 20 years ago, the local airport was right in Temecula itself, very close to the 15 freeway. As the city of Temecula grew, we knew we had a problem because of the crosswinds, and there was several crashes that occurred, and that was the reason that the airport was moved and made a county airport quite a distance from the city of Temecula, and that's where it still is, but that was the reason. I just remember way back, and that's going back probably 20, 25 years ago. That's all.
Not so much, it seems like it's getting closer and closer. And that was the only request to speak, correct?
Correct. We
All
do
right.
have one on the consent calendar on item 15.
Okay, so we will move on to consent calendar. All matters listed under consent calendar are considered to be routine, and all will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no discussion of these items unless members of the city Temecula Community Services District request specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Number 13, action minutes. Number 14, financial statements for the third quarter ended March 31st, 2014. Number 15, amendments to annual agreements for various services required by the Parks Maintenance and Facility Maintenance Divisions for fiscal year 2014-15. And that's all. I'll take a
Madam Mayor or
motion.
Madam President or Vice President,
Or
as the
whoever I
case
am
may
at
be.
this point in time.
I'll move item 13 and 14.
Okay.
If you're planning on pulling 15. If you're not, I'll move the balance.
I wasn't.
We have a speaker request for item 15, so I didn't know what your plan was.
I didn't know the nature of the comments, but
We have Wayne Hall speaking. So are we going to?
okay, then we'll pull 15 for Mr. Hall. So we have a motion for 13 and 14. Do I have a second?
I would make the second if I could.
You can't make a first and a second.
I can't.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion, and push your button for a second, and we will cast our votes.
Push it again.
You doing okay, Mr. Nagar? Yeah. Okay. Being uncharacteristically quiet down at the right.
Yeah.
And we have it passed 4-1 with Member Comachero absent. All right, then we will move on to item 15, amendments to annual agreements for various services required by the Parks Maintenance and Facility Maintenance Division for fiscal year 2014-15. Could we have a brief staff report, please?
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a contract extension for various contractors for the annual service and maintenance agreements for the parks within the city of Temecula. This is an annual item that comes before the board before the council annually. This is for fiscal year 14-15.
All right, any questions for staff? Seeing none, then we go ahead and call Mr. Hall.
Wayne Hall?
Come on up, Wayne.
I hadn't
Good
planned on
evening.
speaking about this, but my wife sent me down here.
Uh-oh.
I want to congratulate the community service again. It was fantastic. I went to actually 4 memorials yesterday, one outside the city. And well done, well done. We had the cadets, and then we had the Boy Scouts in the afternoon, and we had the old guys over at the cemetery. And good, it was fantastic, and all were a lot of people there, and it was enjoyable. The only thing that I wanted to bring up, and it's something that maybe would have been overlooked, at the duck pond when the mayor was mentioning about the letters from home, I didn't have my glasses on, and afterwards she had left and got some pictures and stuff, but some of us old guys going around, and we started looking at the letters, and I think there's 17 of them there. But out of 17, 9 of them are getting pretty well worn. And they're etched in there, and I think a little highlight or something. I don't know about that stuff. But anyway, I brought it to a friend's attention, and then of course I called the city. Do we have a restoration fund for, because we're going into a maintenance mode now, and we're going to get more of these, I bet. I wouldn't doubt it. But the fact is, we got to maintain what we got as well. And I noticed that even over at the CRC, and of course the one on Margarita and Rancho Vista, we have a very small one there.
Ronald Reagan.
And at Ronald Reagan Park, we have memorials and we have different plaques and stuff. Could we make up a schedule where we can have guys who are expert in that field that deal with concrete or stone or plaques or stuff, and they do a maintenance, not all at one time, but a little at a time, where we don't have to go into our basic fund and pull out a lot of money, but a schedule where they look at it every so often, like all our parks. We have all the parks in the world, and they're great parks, but we can't work on all of them at the same time, so they have a schedule set up for that. And I was thinking that we're 25 years old at the city, and we're going to get a little older and a little grayer, and we're going to show our age a little bit. And that's what I'm concerned about, is our restoration funds for all those special little details. And these aren't just regular, well, I can throw a little bit of concrete on it and smooth it out. It takes experts. It takes specialists. And I wish that we could bring up something like that and get them on, started now, instead of waiting and, well, now we got to do something. We need to go in a general fund and grab a bunch of money. Let's start and prevent it before it happens. And like I said, I'm looking forward to the 4th of July. That's where you show your true mettle, young man. And
But no pressure.
no pressure at all. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. We actually do have a maintenance schedule, and that's been the topic of discussion for this year as we transition into a full-grown young adult city. We move into the maintenance phase, so that's exactly what we've been talking about. But I hear what you're saying. We do have some of those areas that will require some specialists when we're dealing with carvings and plaques and public art and things like that. So, yeah, they're going to require a little bit special attention. So that was everything on item 15.
Mr. Hall's comments noted. I'll move the item.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second. And please cast your votes. And
There you go.
there we have it, 4-1, with Mayor Pro Tem Comachero absent. Anything, Director of Community Services?
Just a quick
Great job yesterday.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Hall, but we have a tremendous special events team and the facility folks, and so they're the true heroes of the day, so thank you all. Just a reminder to say the dates. Penny Pickles Workshop, Temecula's award-winning science-based children's museum, located here in Old Town Temecula, is proud to announce its 10th anniversary on June 25th. To celebrate, the Friends of Temecula Children's Museum will be hosting 10 days of wacky fun and surprises. Not zany, but wacky. And surprises from June 20th through June 29th. The 10th. Easy, Finance Director.
Don't let them change you like that. Just because they tease you.
Wacky and zany. The 10th anniversary science events extravaganza will include activities such as time travel party for grown-ups, like you, Jennifer, the Making Stuff with Innate Science Camp, the Amazing Science Show, and the Building Crazy Contraptions Family Workshop. Remember, all proceeds from the science events extravaganza support additional science-based programming at the Temecula Children's Museum. For more information and tickets, please visit www.pennypickles.org or call 951-308-6376. And that concludes my report.
All right. Anything else? If you have no other reports, then I will accept a motion and a second to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Then CSD stands adjourned. Moving on to successor agency to the Temecula Redevelopment Agency. I'm going to call this meeting to order with the roll call And let it be noted that Mr. Comachero is absent, and are we going to have any public comments?
There's no public comments.
No public comments, all right, so we're going to move on to the consent calendar. All matters listed in our consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be enacted with one roll call vote. There will be no discussion of these items unless members of the successor agency to the Temecula Redevelopment Agency request specific items be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Item 16, action minutes. Item 17, financial statements for the third quarter ended March 31st, 2014.
Move consent.
I have a motion and a second for consent. And push the second button, Mr. Roberts, and cast your votes, please. So the items pass, 4 with Mayor Pro Tem Comachero absent, and any other reports?
Move adjournment.
Motion and second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. SARTA is. Well, I wondered if you were live down there. I haven't heard from you all night.
3-1 vote.
We're going to reconvene the Temecula City Council and moving on to departmental reports. Anything?
These are just receiving file, Madam Mayor.
And city manager, anything?
Just two things. I want to invite the community out this weekend. We have one of our major signature events that we are a co-sponsor of, which is the Temecula Valley Balloon and Wine Festival. So check it out. Come on out. There's some great entertainment planned Friday night and Saturday, Sunday. So hope to see everybody out there. And then lastly, it's good to see a familiar face in the audience there, Jeannie Ward, longtime council member attendee. So it's good to see her back in the audience.
Hey, hi Jeannie. And Peter, anything? You done, Aaron?
I'm done.
All right, Mr. City Attorney, anything?
I have nothing tonight.
Nothing? I will accept a motion for adjournment.
In the honor of all
Yes.
of those that paid the ultimate sacrifice and that we honored yesterday, Memorial Day, I'll adjourn
Yes.
to Tuesday, June 10th.
And we're actually going to adjourn, if I can find my notes, because I want
Oh,
to.
you have something
Yes.
to add to that?
Yes. In memory of a tragedy that occurred in the city of Temecula on June 2nd in 1992, and it was an horrific occurrence where a number of students and parents were killed right in front of Temecula Valley High School because of a high-speed chase that took place. So at the request of Mr. Wayne Hall, we would like to adjourn in the names of Gloria Murillo, and she was age 17, Jose Murillo, age 16, John Davis, father, Todd Davis, age 17, and a neighbor, I believe, who was riding with them, Monisa Emilio, age 14. We would like to adjourn in their honor and remember them today. So the meeting stands adjourned. Thank you.